Fishing in the field, coming in hot from my thermally shielded 4x4 van. We're going to talk about democide. What is democide? Well, fratricide is brothers killing each other. Genocide is a group of people being murdered. Democide is governments killing their own people, their own citizens. I'll go through a scenario real quick to make sure we're all on the same page of what this means. We're going to go to the Eastern Front in World War II. You got the Nazis fighting the Russians. When Nazi soldiers kill Russians, that's not democide. When Russians kill Nazis, that's not democide. But when Russian soldiers try to flee the front lines and they're gunned down by other Russian soldiers, that's democide. The Jews getting murdered by Germany in World War II, that's democide. Mao Zedong killed an absolute mind-boggling number of Chinese. That's democide. Pol Pot, democide. This has happened a lot all over the globe in the 20th century. And pimps, we're not talking about ancient times when some Greek city-state would take the one next to it, murder all the men, and throw the babies and children from the walls. We're talking 20th century, man. I was born in that shit. You know? Probably a lot of you were born in it. This was going on while we were alive. It just didn't happen in North America and in parts of the West. So we're going to play a game now. I want you guys to guess in the comments down below. Pause the video and guess how many millions of people were murdered by their own governments last century. Go ahead. I'm going to just keep on rolling along with it here. So I hope you pause it, make a comment, and we're going to see where you're at. The actual number is 262 million people. Holy shit. That is a lot of damn people. That is almost the population of the United States today. 262 million people. And we're talking 7.62 by 39s in the back of the head. Starvation. Starvation was a pretty big one. Pretty gruesome ways for these people to go. But the bottom line is that their own governments murdered them. So now what does that mean to us? Well, it means a number of things. One, you don't ever trust your government as far as you can throw it. And I'll tell you guys what, I've known this for a long time. I figured this out a long time ago. And it was probably back when this study first was posted online. It's probably just after the end of the 20th century that I found this out. And after I found that out, I was like, holy crap. Government is literally the most murderous force in the world. In the world, guys. You know, organized religion can be pretty bad too, but I'm pretty sure it didn't kill 262 million people last century. So government wins, man. They win. I don't trust a single thing my government has said to me since I read this study. If they're going to tell me something, you know what? I'm going to go do my own damn research. I'm going to go find out. Are they trustworthy or are they lying to me? And you know what? The massive majority of the time, they're lying to me. Another scary fact is that most Americans, and probably Canadians, I don't know about you guys, I didn't look up your stats, but most Americans are educated by their government. Weird. Kind of weird that everything is absolutely going down the shitter in this country, isn't it? Starting to make a lot of sense. A lot of what your government does, you know, it says it's doing it in your best interest to keep you safe. But those of us that pay attention, we know that's bullshit, right? All it cares about is itself. The people in it that are running it, they're worried about themselves. Government is like its own entity. It's crazy. And what it does is it attracts the kind of people that help to further its aims. And what does government exist to do? Control. That's what it exists to do, guys. Control the people. And it grabs more and more and more control over the course of time. And eventually gets to a point where things are falling apart and governments always end. Go Google the average lifespan of a government, and you're going to see that we're due for a big change. And what happens? How does it change? Well, it either ends in a revolution, it ends with an invasion of a foreign force, or it ends with an economic collapse, which usually leads to one of the other two. And look at where we are. So guess what's coming to North America, pimps? Democide. Democide is coming. We are staring a civil war in the face. And every day that goes by, more and more people are talking about it. People know it's coming. And this next election could very well be the catalyst that's it's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. There's a very good chance of that. And when it kicks off, democide is going to go down. You're going to have this government killing people, its own people, to keep it from occurring. Some of this has already happened, just on a small scale. It's scary, pimps, but it's very, very real. If you look at the history of the world where humans are involved, there have very rarely been these eras of relative peace. They always come to an end. They always fail. And we always get right back to what? Wars, genocides, famines, democide. We get right back there. And we're due. We're due in North America. Not like it hasn't happened here recently. Look what happened to the American Indians. You know? And someone's going to argue that, oh, well, they weren't a part of the government at that point in time. I'm going to argue that they were, depending on what kind of situation we're talking about. Look what California did with paying for bounties for ears and heads. You know, California State, they paid for that shit. And you can go look around and try and disprove it. I found one paper where a guy is saying it didn't happen as much as they say it happened. One paper. And you know what? You can't access it without paying money to join some freaking stupid ass platform that nobody wants to join. So, you know, his argument's out. Publish your freaking shit live, bro, if you want to get some freaking notoriety from all the magical documentation you found that proves your point. There's plenty of records, though, of the state paying Indian hunters an absolute shit ton of money for heads and ears. You know? So it's literally happened here in the last couple of centuries. This was the late 1800s. And we'd all be absolutely stupid just to think it's not going to happen here again. I know some people are going to watch this video and be like, everything's fine. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen here. It can't happen here. This is the free world, man. It's going to happen. Does it matter if it happens in the next year? In the next 5 years? Does it matter when? It doesn't, right? Chances are you're going to be alive. So you might as well start getting your shit ready to go, pimps. I'm going to end it with this. Go look at the death numbers from the first Civil War. It was the most costly war in the history of America, by far. And people were shooting each other with muskets. Look at the technology we have now. The warfighter gear. It's going to be bad. Look at the population numbers. It is going to be really, really bad. And I'll tell you what, if you're paying attention, you can tell that the current administration and ones before it, and I don't care what side of the fence they're on, they have all done things to take our rights and to put us in a position where they can stick us in a camp or arrest us and not give us due process. Both parties have made pushes in this direction. And this current one is making statements like, oh, you can't fight the government. You need F-15s. Banning import ammunition. Talking about making moves towards 5.56 and just bulk ammo sales. I want you guys to look at this too. If you really want to have some fun with this and have trouble sleeping tonight, go start looking at how much ammunition federal agencies have been purchasing over the last decade. We're talking domestic agencies like DHS. Even the freaking Department of Education is buying guns and ammunition. Why? Why, pimps? Do you want to know why? Because they know it's coming. They know The shit is coming. Get ready, man. Like it, share it, subscribe to the channel, check out my link in Patreon. Tons more content on there. I'll see you all in the next video.